Yes, guys, and welcome to my first official video on my new channel. My name is Ziad, and this is Ziad'sZone. To start off this channel, I thought we should have a little break, right? The players are having a little break, the managers are having a little break. Chelsea are not playing for another week, so I thought let's go all the way back to the start of the season. Let's go back to pre-season, see what Pochettino done right. What were Chelsea like going into the season? So have a little talk about that as we go on. But yeah, hope you guys do enjoy. Hope you guys like, subscribe, and yeah, let's get into it. So preseason comes in. Pochettino does a few interviews. He says all the right words. It looks like he understands the project. He's on the right page with the owners. He understands that Chelsea are one of the biggest clubs in England, one of the most successful clubs in the last 15, 20 years, if not the most successful club in England in the last 20 years, of course. But look, comes into pre-season, we play the likes of Aston Villa, Dortmund, Brighton, and I was impressed. I was impressed. Sorry, I was impressed. And then people will tell me it was it was last season trauma. It was because we had to deal with Kai Havertz and Mason Mount and Graham Potter. We didn't have a proper manager. No, look, I'm talking about what I saw at Pochettino. Right, I saw good tactics. I saw good football. Right, I saw link up play. I saw one touch. I saw a style of play developing. Right, I saw game by game. I saw us improving. And people say it's only preseason. Yeah, but preseason shows something. You got to take preseason into consideration at least, right? And I was happy with preseason. We then go into the first game of the season against Liverpool. Again, I was happy with the performance. We didn't end up winning, but I was happy with the performance. Right? We saw likes of Enzo shining. We saw Jackson even getting involved. Carney Chukwuemeka starting that game in the number 10. He done well. Colwell left back wasn't a fan a kickoff. Before the game, I wasn't excited. I wasn't happy with it, but he had a good game, right? Had a good game. Disasi gone straight into the team, had a good performance, right? Sanchez gone straight into the team, had a good performance. Gusto having to come on because of Reece James, having a good performance. So there's a lot of positive signs, right? A lot of positive signs going into the first game of the season. Going into West Ham, yet again, start of the season, excitement was there from pre-season and Liverpool game. And West Ham was a little bit, it wasn't as good as Liverpool in pre-season, right? We started off on the wrong foot, but I still saw little bit of a style of play. Little bit of a style of play, right? It wasn't the same as pre-season in Liverpool, I'll be honest. Carney Chukwuemeka gets his goal. As I said, he was performing in the pre-season. He was performing in the Liverpool game. I thought, you know what, this is going to be season to shine. Pochettino clearly has trust in him. He's starting him at the start of the season, in the start of his reign at Chelsea, and he gets injured. Carney Chukwuemeka gets injured, and for me, this had a big impact on our season so far. It's not an excuse for Pochettino what's happened so far, but for me, a number 10, an out and out number 10 in Pochettino's system is a huge factor, right? A huge factor, and I think we started to lose that as soon as we lost that number 10. And Nkunku, of course, got injured in the preseason, and Carney got injured in our second game of the season, right? Only second game of the season against West Ham, we got injured, and for me, West Ham slowly, what we saw in preseason was fading away, right? And then after West Ham, it just went. It was terrible after West Ham. We were playing the likes of Luton, Nottingham Forest, Wimbledon. None of them were good performances. None of them were good performances. And I was starting to see little patterns that we may be getting the results against the likes of Wimbledon and Luton, but we weren't playing well. We weren't the same that we were in preseason, right? We weren't at all. I think it's Carney Chukwuemeka's injury and Nkunku's injury had a massive impact on that. Some believe otherwise, but I think now that you're seeing it now with no actual number 10. He's playing Conor Gallagher in the number 10. But we'll get into that a little bit later on about what we're talking about, how we're playing right now in terms of Conor Gallagher and whatnot. But yeah, look, we played. I don't think we played great. Apart from the first two games of the season, West Ham, I'll give it to him. So first two games of the season we played well, and then I think the injury completely ruined us. Like I said, Carney, Chukwuemeka, and then Kunku. It's not an excuse, of course. A manager should always have more than one option, a plan A and a plan B. But it wasn't going well. It wasn't going well. So we had the likes of Nottingham Forest. We lost to Nottingham Forest. Luton we won, of course, but we didn't play well. Wimbledon we won, but we didn't play well. Then we go into a little bit of run of games. We played the likes of Brighton in the Cup. Then we played Burnley. and we were picking up, getting results. Like I say, we went through the cup against Brighton. We beat Burnley away, but the performances wasn't there. You know, the decision making from Pochettino wasn't there. So it looked like it was worrying. It was worrying because at the end of the day, at the start of the season, you got to pick up points. We were going away to Bournemouth, drawing a 0-0. And instead of going out and trying to win the game, he's protecting a point. You know, little things like that make a big game changer. You know, and now you have to look at it. Now we're 10th, right? We're 10th in the Premier League or ninth. I don't even look at the Premier League table anymore because we're either ninth or 10th. You know, we're hardly going up. We're hardly going up. So, and people will look at me, ask me, look, Pochettino, why has he gone from what he did in preseason to right now? And like I said, I think it's the injuries. But at the same time, it's not an excuse, right? You can't come in and then rely on two players. And if those two players are injured, your whole system has gone down the floor, right? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? And for me, Pochettino has got to take responsibility because he said a lot of bad things. He said a lot of comments. A lot of his comments don't make sense. He's made excuses for performances. Said that how when we've played well, when we completely haven't played well, right? Blaming injuries, blaming so many things, so many factors that sorry at Chelsea it just doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it because as a Chelsea fan, and many Chelsea fans have the same feeling about Pochettino. It's at the end of the day, it's your decision making that's costing us, right? That's your decision making. Yes, there's players' decision making um, as well that's costing us points, but for me, that is a major problem. There's a lot of inconsistency that I'm seeing with Chelsea, right? A lot of inconsistency. Whether it's the manager making wrong substitutions and starting the wrong lineups and or starting players in the wrong position. You've got one game, you've got Gallagher in the 10, you've got the other game, you've got Enzo in the 10, you've got Colwell at left back when you've got Matson there. Matson, he literally won the championship last season with Burnley, right? Performed very well with Burnley, and you've got him on your bench and you don't use him at all. Fair enough. You used Matson in the more in the attack in preseason, and it worked out for you. But when you're seeing Colwell play the way he's playing, right? We're in December, we're in January, and you're not, and he's had one or two games, and you still decide not to change it, right? You got to ask some questions. You have to ask some questions, right? The likes of Conor Gallagher and Enzo always swapping. Sometimes it's Gallagher in the pivot, sometimes it's Enzo in the pivot. We both know they're both not tens. If a Chelsea fan or Chelsea fans can see that Gallagher and Enzo are not tens. Both of them are not good enough for goal scoring, right? Uh, Enzo is a good, great chance creator, but from that 18-yard box or dropping in deep and collecting the ball in the between lines, I'm not too sure. I think he's more a bit deeper, collecting the ball a bit deeper, dictating his play. That's why I think Enzo is best at. Not playing him at 10 and limiting him, playing his back towards goal. How are you going to get the best out of him there? Right? You got Conor Gallagher, who the guy can never seem to do anything wrong. Right? I don't understand. I don't think that Conor Gallagher's hate is deserved the hate he gets. I think it's overdone. But I also think he deserves to be benched sometimes. He deserves to be substituted. I shouldn't be seeing Gallagher on the bench and then you take off Enzo. That should never happen. That should never be the case. Enzo Fernandez should never be taken off the pitch before Conor Gallagher, right? A prime example against Middlesbrough in the cup. Enzo was one of our best players. He takes off and keeps Gallagher on the pitch. Why? These decision makings it affects the games and it affects the way the fans look at you. You have to have a bigger impact. Yeah, because you know what? The main reason right now I'm Pochettino out. The main reason is because of what we saw last season. It may be unfair for Pochettino, but I'm not going what I dealt with Graham Potter, right? With his stupid decision making, with his stupid comments. I'm not doing that again. You know, people call me spoiled, people call me entitled, but look, I'm a fan that's seen Chelsea win a lot of trophies and be very successful, right? And I can't go 2 years without seeing success, right? I went from Thomas Tuchel walking into the door, making a quick impact, taking us to like 6 finals, winning the Champions League without even his squad. And then we've got a manager now who's had a preseason, who's had a couple players that's walked in, right? And he's making excuses. Or we may get top four. We may get top six. I don't know yet. or maybe if we don't get top four or Champions League football, that's just a reality. That's the reality of Chelsea. We have to understand. No, 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 no. That would not cut it. The owners may have it. The owners may, which I have to question the owner sometimes. You've brought in Graham Potter, didn't succeed. You brought in Pochettino, so far is not doing well. Now when Pochettino goes, because he will go. Right now he's slowly getting past these games, but I think his time will come when he gets sacked. His time will come because at the end of the day, I'm not seeing anything that Pochettino can change. I was one of the last Chelsea fans to say Pochettino out, right? Was one of the very last because I had belief in the manager, right? I did have belief in the manager. I thought he would change. But right now, I have nothing to believe in. Two prime examples in our last game against Fulham at home and the Middlesbrough away. I didn't see anything. The players look clueless. They look lost. There's no style of play, right? We're playing hoofball from the centre back to the striker, right? I'm seeing Caicedo collecting the ball from the centre backs, and the gap between Caicedo and the rest of the players is this big. What's Caicedo supposed to do? What's Enzo supposed to do? Enzo was, from last season was supposed to have a perfect partnership with Caicedo. Pochettino clearly doesn't know how to coach them because he's driving Caicedo through the ground with how much he's making him run and how much space he's making him to cover, making him cover. Sorry. But and then on top of the no style play and no identity, I'm seeing players pick up random positions. I'm seeing Sterling go right when there's no one on the left. I'm seeing Brojo on the left wing. I'm saying I don't even know. Palmer's gone. Once is coming up to pick the ball deep, and then there's no one on the right. And then Gustos goes forward, and then there's no one in defending. Leaves Disasi and Thiago Silva, who are not the quickest centre backs, completely isolated and left alone. Like I don't. In the last two games, the last few games, I don't know what he's doing in training. I don't know what he's doing in training because I can't have a game where the players look lost. It looks like we're freestyling. It looks like we're just getting on the pitch and whatever happens, happens. And that's not going to work. And this is why I say he's just buying himself time. The players are just buying him time. Because you look at Fulham game, Enzo had a good game. The Sassy Thiago Silva had a good game. Gusto had a good game. Colwell at left back actually had one of his best games this season, but he's had about 15 bad games. So he still shouldn't be starting their next game, right? Even though we've got rid of Matson now, so he's gone completely. So we've got no left back now. Cucurella Chilwell's only coming back from injury, and then Chilwell comes against Fulham. He brings him on at left wing. We've got Mudryk on the bench. Like it doesn't make sense what he's doing. It at all. It doesn't make sense what he's doing, right? We've seen no consistency from a manager and even players. I will go turn to the players a little bit. I'll see Colwell mistakes against Crystal Palace, and people say, "Oh, he's not a left back." Listen, you don't need to be a left back to be able to defend and to not make the mistakes that he did make. Right? It's basic mistakes. I will say Mudryk coming off the bench and making zero impact. But at the same time, if a player comes off the bench and make no impact and is performing just as bad as the other players on the pitch, it's got to be instructions from the manager. It's got to be. You're telling me we bring on 2, 3 attackers off the bench and they make zero impact and they play just as bad as the players that are already on. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. So, end of the day, yes, it's the manager's fault. Mainly, it is the manager's fault, right? If every single player on the pitch is playing bad, I'm not going to blame 11 players. I'm going to blame the manager. I'm going to blame the one that's supposed to be giving them tactics and instructions, right? And a way of playing, an identity. But look, and I understand the main excuse I was given this man was injuries. And Kunku's basically hasn't been available all season. Lavia basically hasn't been available all season. Badishili comes back and gets injured. Some people say they're overdoing him, overworking these players. They come back from injury and then they get injured straight away. Look, there's a lot that goes into injuries that we don't know about. We can assume that Pochettino is the reason why these lot are getting injured. These players are getting injured right after coming back from injury. He's got previous and Tottenham and especially Tottenham and PSG where he's not allowed players to recover from injuries. But look, at the end of the day, that's semantics to me. For me, the biggest issue are his substitutions. Biggest issue is I'm not seeing what the plan is on the pitch. The players look lost. Gallagher, he clearly has favourites in Conor Gallagher. Look, like I said earlier, I don't think the hate that Gallagher gets is like I don't understand it. Like, yes, he's not an amazing player. Yes, he should be dropped. Yes, we should be selling him in the summer. But it's nowhere near as bad as Chelsea fans make out to be. Nowhere near. He should be dropped. 100%. He should be sold, especially at a price tag that's going around 45, 50 million. 100%. But it comes down to the manager. The manager is the one that's consistently paying him. The manager is the one that will never sub him off. The manager is the one that's made him captain. The manager is the one that's made him basically the face of the club right now, right? So that comes down to the manager, and the manager is going to die on that sword. So, anyway, guys, just to wrap it up quickly, we're not playing until next Tuesday, second leg of next Tuesday or Wednesday, second leg of the cup against Middlesbrough. We better win that. We better win that. I'm already potch out. I've already seen enough. I can't have a manager that's been there for a few months now, right? He's been there for what, 5, 6 months. You go from having an identity, a style of play, to go straight to making excuses, playing players out of position, you know, no identity, no style of play. Players look lost. You saw Palmer go up like this when he first joined, and he's slowly going like that, and then he's going like this. It's just too many inconsistency. It's too much, right? You will need to come in and make an impact, right? You were supposed to be the one to develop these youngsters. You know, we've got one of the youngest squads in the league, and you were supposed to be the one to develop them, right? And you're clearly not doing that. If anything, you're making them worse. You're making them worse. Colwell's confidence is probably broken right now. Yeah, broken. Mudrick, God knows, he starts one game, he gets benched out of the game. Madueke didn't start the whole season. Now, slowly, he's putting him back into the team, right? And then now, slowly, he's getting benched again. Like, which way is it? Which way is it? I don't understand. This flip flop of Gallagher in the 10 or Enzo in the 10, it needs to stop. It needs to stop. Kani Chukwuemeka is coming back from injury right now. Hopefully, he starts back in the 10 in our next few games. And look, you better win games, man. You better climb up the table. But you have to show me something. Winning games, sorry, like, I'm happy with winning games, of course. I'm never going to say lose to get the manager out. I'm happy you're winning games. But I need to see a difference. I need to see a difference, right? Chelsea have had a long break. All the players have gone. You including the manager has gone. But this should be a time you should be working. Come back a few days early and work on it. Because if you come back from this break and we see no improvement and you get kicked out of the Carabao Cup, then listen, you've got no excuses, man. And I don't think anyone will have any excuses. So there's nothing left for me to say on Pochettino and the players. Like I said, too much inconsistency, too much profiling players. You know, too many mistakes. It's just a big mess. Big mess. When the manager is making mistakes and playing players out of position, when the players are making silly mistakes are costing us games, when they're not doing the basics of football right, like where do you even start? You know, where it's just a big mess. And for me, before I do wrap up, I'm gonna look at a couple words on the board. Look, Graham Potter hasn't worked. Mauricio Pochettino, clearly, I don't think he's going to work. Unless a miracle comes, he's going to be sacked and it's going to be another project manager that's going to be out of the door. So please, Todd Bowley, Iqbali, Paul, Lawrence Stewart, what his name is, something like that, make the right decision, right? No more project, no more anything, something that we build in 5 years. Yes, fair enough, you've given Pochettino a 2-year contract, but the idea of a project manager clearly is not working, right? Clearly is not working. So please, in my humble opinion, I would like to see a more experienced manager, someone that's used to winning at big clubs, someone that's used to managing at big clubs, that understands truly what Chelsea Football Club is. Because Pochettino and Graham Potter can sit here all they like and say, Chelsea Football Club, one of the most successful football clubs of the last 15 years. Yes, 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 whatnot. But as soon as it comes to crunch time, as soon as they walk in and they see the pressure of the club and the fans, and that we don't accept rubbish even in the first few weeks, because there's a lot of fans that wanted them out within the first few weeks. They said this guy's not going to hack it, and look, they were right. So bring someone in my opinion, that's got a top mentality, that's used to winning, and that's proven. Otherwise, we're gonna have to have questions about the owners as well. we're gonna have the questions about the owners. They're gonna have to fix up real quick because Chelsea fans are starting to turn. They're starting to turn real quick. But yeah, let's see what happens. We better win against not Nottingham Forest, sorry, Middlesbrough. We better keep winning and climbing up the table in the Premier League. Even though right now we'll just stick to 10th and 9th. But yeah, guys, that's it for me for my first video on my new channel. Hope you have enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. My Twitter, Ziad'sZone, double E at the end on Twitter. Make sure to drop it a follow. Message me. Have any ideas? Message me your thoughts, your feedback. Also leave it in the comments. Yeah, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. Like, subscribe. Until next time. See you later.